Hey, it's Joe, founder and creator of the GPSforLove.com. Today I'd like to share an email I received from Ruby, one of the members of our GPS for Love community. And the reason that I want to share this email with you is because this is something I see so many of the members of our community going through. So here it goes. Joe, in your videos you always use the expression, when the right guy comes along for you. I've been with someone off and on for 5 years, and he tells me that he's sorry he can't be the right guy for me. What I hear, however, is that I am the wrong woman for him, and that's why he says it can't go anywhere. He has not been with other women during our time together, and he just says that he's not looking for a relationship because he's been there and done that. He's been married twice. But I think it's because he's a man who lives in the bottle, and he has no intention of going sober. He's always complimenting me about what a great catch I am, and then he says that I need to go out there and find the right guy for me because he's a screw-up. He's trouble, and that I really shouldn't want to be with him. He says he has nothing to offer me, that I deserve someone who is handsome, a nice dresser, has a great job, is intelligent, and has money, who would love to be with someone like me. He says he loves being with me, and he loves me, and he wants to hear me say that I love him, but then he says we are wrong for each other. I probably should have walked away years ago in a lot of other people's opinions. Is this some sort of twisted game he's playing? I have seen 5 other guys in these last 5 years because he's challenged me that I cannot move on. But in the end, I always wind up back with him because I am most comfortable with him, and things haven't worked out with these other guys. I just get confused because he runs hot and cold, even after 5 years. I do not fear losing him to someone else. We have great sexual chemistry and passion between us. I can't help but think it's not him, it's me who isn't right for him for some reason. When I tell him this, he says that it is him, and it's not me, because he's the screw-up. I guess I cannot figure out his expectations, because he has none, and neither do I. Is there anything wrong with that? Or is one of us conflicted, which is why he doesn't see it going anywhere? I see all these blogs about commitment phobes, emotionally unavailable people, friends with benefits, players, finding Mr. or Mrs. Right. Do you have any advice for me in my situation? Absolutely. Ruby, and to anybody else who is maybe in this position now or has been in this position in the past. What we got to do here is we got to really get honest. We got to take that mirror time and really ask ourselves some questions, because as you see, those of you who are watching this, you can probably see the red flags a mile away, right? And you know you're going to have a ton of advice for Ruby. And I really encourage you to share, because if you've been in that scenario before, you know what's going to happen. So just share and give Ruby some of your insight. But what I find is that there's a reason why this is all going on. I don't believe anybody is conflicted. I think there's definitely some confusion. There's definitely some stuff going on for both people in this scenario. So if you go back and see what this guy has been telling, he's an alcoholic. Okay, he doesn't feel good about himself. He's been married twice, and is being upfront that he doesn't want to go there. And this is one of the challenges for Ruby and those of you who've been in this situation, is you think you're going to change him. Okay? Now here's the thing. He's telling you what a great person you are, how much he loves you, how much he wants to be with you, but he's conflicted because of his own stuff. Okay? There's some stuff going on for him. And here's the reality. No matter how much you love him, no matter how much you do for him, he's got to work on that stuff himself. And I know I was in one of those relationships where I was going to save the person. I was going to be there. I was going to be the knight in shining armor and be the man that she said she wanted, but she could never accept it because of her own internal conflicts. So, you know, I never want to tell anybody what to do with their life unless they're in mortal danger, and it doesn't sound like any of this is happening, because I respect people where they are in their journey. And so I know this is all part of Ruby's journey. The question is she going to learn? Is she going to move on to create the relationship that she wants? So Ruby and anybody else who may be in this situation, I've got a couple of steps that will really help you figure this all out. Because that's really what this is Ruby is simply confused. She wants a great relationship. She's got a guy where there's great sexual chemistry. He's saying the right things occasionally, but it's obvious she's not getting and having the kind of relationship that she really wants, which is why she's writing this. I mean, let's be honest, Ruby, if you were really happy and you were really fulfilled, you wouldn't be on this site and you wouldn't be writing this letter. So let's just be real here. So the first thing you got to do is get clear and ask yourself, what kind of relationship do I really want? And really take the time to define that. Do you just want a relationship? Do you just want a guy in your life? Do you just want to be with someone who doesn't light you up consistently, that doesn't give you all the important things in life that you're looking for? And if so, just be honest with that, because that's what you're going to get. Or do you say you want a great relationship? You want to be with a guy who gives you all the important things, that helps you have a great life in and out of the bedroom. Again, that's a decision that you have to make, and anybody who's watching this, that's a decision where you've got to look in the mirror and really decide what is it that you want. So after you get clear on what you want, you have to then ask yourself, is this it? Take some mirror time, be really honest with yourself, and say, is this the kind of relationship I really want? And when you do that, what you're going to see is you're probably going to go, no. Okay? Because there's these feelings that you're having consistently, which are letting you know that you're unhappy, that you're unfulfilled. And because those feelings are there consistently, it's kind of like your inner soul's way of telling you this isn't right for you. But what happens is then our fears come up. Well, I might not find another guy who's great in bed. I might not find another guy that excites me. I might not find another guy who makes me feel good, whatever it may be. Or, I might not ever find anybody. I might be alone. I'm not good enough. Whatever it is, that's where that's where you have to do the work. And so by identifying what it is you're afraid of, you can then deal with it. See, this is one of the inherent challenges. See, there's no person out there who's broken, who needs to be fixed. We're doing things for very specific and predictable reasons. It's obvious in reading Ruby's letter that she's staying with this guy because he's giving her crumbs. He's really good in bed. He tells her he loves her and wants to be with her, and that's good enough. But is it really? And that's where, I stand, is about being able to give up the good to go for the great. Because at the end of the day, and this is the most important thing, is you have to ask yourself this question: what would I regret more? Would I regret staying with this guy and never having the kind of relationship that I really wanted? Or would I regret leaving and taking that chance? And that's a decision each person can only make. And there was a time in my life where I was at that same point. And I decided that, you know what? I deserve better than this. I want better than this. My soul, my gut was telling me you deserve better than this. And so when I took my mirror time, I promised myself that I wouldn't settle anymore. I'd been there and I experienced that kind of relationship more times than I had wanted to. And I said, it's either great relationship or no relationship. And what's really cool with that is when you shift and you get clear and you own that and you live from that place, all of a sudden things change. And it's amazing. I see it with the clients that I've worked with who are in Ruby's position, and then all of a sudden they change and they realize, you know what? I deserve a great guy. I deserve a great relationship, and I'm not going to settle anymore. I'm not going to take crumbs. And once they get there and they start operating, this whole dating game becomes easier. And in a relatively short amount of time, they find the right guy. They find that special guy who's able to light them up, who's able to enhance their life, to bring them joy in and out of the bedroom. And that's my prayer and intention for everybody who's watching this today, including Ruby. So I know I threw a lot at you. I know we went really in depth today, but this stuff is really important. So I'm going to ask you to do two things. Number one is to give Ruby your feedback, because as you know, it's a lot easier to tell somebody and to spot out the inconsistencies. And so if you've been there before or you've got any valuable insight, not to make her wrong, but to help her in her journey, to help her find her truth, I'd really appreciate that. And the second thing is that if you're in this situation now, or you've been in this situation in the past, I want you to take a good look in the mirror and ask yourself why you're staying or why you stayed in the past. Because once you identify that and you deal with that, then you're able to move forward. So as always, it's an honor and privilege to be with you. If you know someone who can benefit from this today, please pass it on. It might be a game changer. I'll see you next time. Much